And with regard to your letter to Senator Gregg that the 10-year stimulus package would have a net negative on growth over 10 years, I recall asking Secretary Geithner about that, and he seemed to be surprised. Didn't think how it was possible you could spend $800 billion and not have improvement over 10 years. But do you still adhere to the view that there would be a modest GDP reduction as a result of the stimulus package that did pass?
What our letter said, Senator, was that the effects on the level of GDP at the end of the 10-year window would be negative. So
then there wouldn't be as much GDP growth at the end of the window as that would have been without the bill passing.
So let me be clear. Our estimate of the cumulative growth in GDP over the 10 years from that legislation was positive. What we said was there would be a big boost to the level of GDP in the first 3 or 4 years, and then that relative to what would have happened to GDP without that law, then the effect on GDP would go back down below 0. So the level of GDP, the level of GDP would be a little lower at the end. So I'm sorry. So let me be more careful. The level of GDP is a little lower at the end. That is net negative effect on the growth of GDP.
And in the next 10 years, since you're carrying that debt and paying interest on it and the stimulus value is long since gone, it would be a continual negative of some effect.
Yeah, so it would represent a drag on the level of GDP beyond that if no other actions were taken.